All right, we're on Keilim, Perek Tetvav, Mishnah Aleph. First Mishnah on the 15th chapter, Masachet Keilim. Okay, we now turn to Kli Eitz, to wood. We've finished the metal Keilim. We now turn our attention to the next four. Kati says 4 or 5 chapters, to wood Keilim, because we had enough of keys. So it says the Mishnah. We learned this before. Kli Eitz, Klei Or, Uklei Etzem, Klei Zchuchit, whether it's made of wood or leather or bone or glass, pshutehem tarim. If it's just a regular like pshutehem piece, okay, doesn't have a beit kibul. This has a beit kibul. It holds something. But if it's just a regular flat piece, it's tahor. Umekablehem, if it has a mekablehem, a beit kibul, if it's a receptacle, then it's tameh. Nishbaru taharu. Once if it breaks, it becomes tahor. And unlike metal kelim, remember we learned in metal kelim, the Rabbanim were gozer, they made a gzeirah, they made a decree and said, even if you reconstitute it, it reanimates the original tumah. Here, chazar ve'asa mehem kelim, if you reanimate them, you fix them, you make new kelim, mekablin tumah mikan ulaba. That it's a kli, it's a vessel, it's mekabel tumah, but it's a new kli, and therefore it's mekabel tumah from now on. We're not going to turn our attention Hashida, Hateva, V'hamigdal. Huge kelim that we learned before that kelim of etz and or, that these kelim are, there's a gzeira shava, there's a heke. Gzeira shava, there's a comparison in Chazal. Chazal say that they're like sak, they're compared to sak. It has to be something that's movable, that's not so large that it's immovable. And if it's so large that it's immovable, then it's not mekabel tuma. And that's the basis of the halakha. The rest of the Mishnah we're going to learn now. Shida teva v'hamigdal. Shida is like a chest, or it could be like, let's see Rav Posen, the way he describes it. Okay, Shida, he says, it's like one of those chariot-y things. Teva is a chest. Migdal, this is a teva. Migdal is like an armoire, it's a tower. The word migdal it means tower, but Shida teva migdal are these huge vessels. So it says the Mishnah, Shida v'teva v'migdal. If you have these big chests, meaning these large receptacles. Okay, or kaveret hakash. Kaveret is like a straw basket. Kaveret hakanim, or a reed basket. Or bor sfina alexandrite. We're going to see what that is in a second. But it's basically a big well in a boat, in an Alexandrian boat. Sheish bem shulaim. They have a bottom. They hold either 40 sa'ah wet, or 40 sa'ah is a tremendous amount. Kuraim biyavesh, or 2 yavesh kur. Harei elutarim. These vessels are al tahor. What are all these things? Shida teva amigdal we saw. Kaveret hakash. It's considered kli eitz. It's considered like it's made out of wood because it's made out of something growing on the ground. Okay, what's the bor sfina alexandrite? Sfina gdola sheposhim baliyam agado. So big boats that they would use to go into the Mediterranean. Kuya sfina alexandrite. It's called an Alexandrian sfina. Why? V'shein poshim bayam me'eretz Yisrael Alexandria, because they would ella b'sfina gdola. If they had to travel from Israel to Alexandria, they did it in a big boat. The water is not fresh water, it's salt water. You can't drink the water. So they had to create a bor shel eitz. They had to create a wooden water receptacle, a water holder. We filled it with sweet water. So that's called, this was what the bor sfina alexandrite. It was this huge water vessel that they put in the boat. Had a bottom, meaning it had a flat bottom, and it held this amount of water, at least 40 sa'ah, which is kurayim. So then they're tahor. Why are they tahor? The Bartunura says, as we've learned, as I said before, they're tahorim. Why? The itkash, as we said, kli eitz ukli or. The wood and leather are itkash. There's a hekesh. They are compared in the Torah, the sak to sak, just like a sack you can carry empty and full. These are so big that if they're full, they can't be moved. If you try to move them when they're full, if you've got a bookcase, a huge bookcase, you have a small bookcase, you can move it. If you have a huge bookcase, you try to move it when it's full, it will break. That's not mikabel tuma. So these are the ones. These kelim are okay tehorim, but sha'ar kol kelim, but other kelim bein bekablim, bein meinam mekablim tmeim. T'ibri Rabbi Meir. Other kelim, every other kli, bein mekablim or bein meinam mekablim, whether they hold 40 sa'ah or not, whether they're huge or not, they are Mekabel Tumah. That's Rabbi Meir's position. He says these are the gamut of Keilim, of large Keilim that we know about. Everything else is Mekabel Tumah. Rabbi Yehuda says, I have a different list. Dardur Agala. We're going to just look at our posting for these things. V'kustot HaMelachim, V'arevat HaAbdanim, Ubor Sfina Ktana, V'ha'aron. Okay, Dardur Agala. The Kati says Dardur Agala. Dardur Agala it's a barrel that was built into an Agala. Let's look at our posting for a second. Here, Dardur Agala. The Romans did make wooden barrels. They weren't that great. They weren't that waterproof or whatever. They didn't hold so well, but they did make wooden barrels. They did not put wine in wooden barrels at the time, I think because they leaked a lot. So Dardur Agala, so this was built specifically into if you had to move water, that was the only way to do it. You had to build a wagon into it. Okay? Or, and we said, Kustot HaMelachim, those are the wagons of the kings. Let's see, here's a picture of it. You know, the wagon of the king. Of course, the king would go in the back of the wagon. You know, I don't know why he says it's Migdal She'etz Aisu Chadarim. It's like, I don't know, it's like, Air Force One back then, that they had to have a little bedroom back there. Okay, but that again is on a wagon. It's specifically on a wagon. That's Kustot Melachim. Arevat Abdanim. Abdanim are tanners. So they had a basket that was specifically movable. Okay, that they had to move when they did their tanning. I guess they didn't do it in any one place. Ubor Sfina Ktana, and the well for a small boat. Veha Aron. Aron is some kind of Aron, closet of some kind. Even though these things, they hold more than 40 sa'ah, tme'im. They are still Mekabel Tumah. Why? Because all of these things, you notice all of them, I have a picture of an Aron, he doesn't know. All of them are specifically made to be moved. And since they're made to be moved, so therefore, since they're made to be moved full, they are Keilim that are Mekabel Tumah. But Shar Kol HaKeilim HaMekablim, any other Kli that does hold over 40 sa'ah, as we said, they're Tahorim. Why? V'she'ena Mekablim, and if they're not Mekabel, they're Tameh. So we have a list of Rabbi Meir, who said everything. He has a list of all the ones that are Tahor. Rabbi Yehuda says, here are all the ones that are Tameh. So the Mishnah says, Ein be'divei Rabbi Meir, the divei Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, each one gave a different list, but they don't disagree. Ella arevat balabayit, the basket of the balabayit. Meaning, is the balabayit's basket that holds more than 40 sa'ah movable or not? Now, Rav Posner doesn't give a picture of it. Ducati doesn't describe it either. There's some kind of basket. Here's the areva, the kaveret, the areva. Here, the areva we said here is areva. Some kind of, not a basket, but it's a kind of like, I guess, tub. Some kind of tub of the balabayit. So I guess probably sometimes moved it, usually didn't move it. So that's a machloka between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir said everything else is tameh, meaning the arivat balabayit is tameh. And Rabbi Yehuda said everything else is tahor, so arivat balabayit is not Mekabel Tumah. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning. Remember my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Comments, questions, or if you're familiar with ancient Roman baskets, tubs, and other movable items, send me an email or a WhatsApp. Or you can join the Telegram group. Make it a great day.